Good evening. I'm back again. We're still catching up on some of the live videos that I posted on Facebook. So this one was originally posted on 3/23. God is asking, do you trust me? Then give. Luke 16, verses 10 through 12. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. And he who is unjust or unfaithful in what is least is unjust or unfaithful also in much. Meaning, if you are faithful in a little bit you have, you'll have more. If you're unfaithful with the little bit you have, you would also be unfaithful if God gave you more. Therefore, verse 11, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon or money, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And true riches have very little to do with money. It includes money, but it has very little to do with it. And if you have not been faithful in what is another man's or what belongs to someone else, who will give you what is your own? In this passage, Jesus is talking about finances, and there's a huge key to your success in this passage, especially in the times we are now living in. In Luke chapter 16, Jesus is teaching about a manager who had been dishonest in dealing with his master's money. He was unfaithful with the little things, his master's money and business, all of his business dealings, and therefore he could not be trusted. Three key words and phrases stand out in this passage to me: trust, true riches, and give you what is your own. So trust. Do you trust God who gives you the power to get wealth? That's Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 18, where that is promised, which means it is God who gives you the ability to make money. So do you trust him to take care of you financially? True riches. What is Jesus talking about here? Ephesians 3:19 tells us to know the love of Christ which passes all knowledge, that we may be filled with all the fullness of God. True riches is not only finances, but everything that God promises to give us, including healing, deliverance, everything. And it all revolves around faith. And give you what is your own. Jesus asked the question, if you aren't faithful with what is entrusted to you, then how can God give you what is your own? Well, what does this mean? To understand, look at the entire passage, which is about a manager dishonestly handling his master's money. In that light, Jesus is saying that if you aren't faithful with the money God gives you to manage or your responsibilities, then how can God give you the true riches which are already yours? In other words, if you don't trust God with his money, because any money you receive, including through your job, paycheck, bonuses, etc., came to you through God. If someone gives you money, it came from God. If you earn money through your job, yes, you worked for it, you spent time, and the world will say you traded time for money. You've probably heard that phrase. But in reality, God gave you the strength. God gave you the ability to do that job. And God is giving you money through that job. It all comes through God. So if you don't give back to God what is already his, then how, Jesus asked, can God give you all the other promises? When you receive salvation, you receive much more than assurance that you are going to heaven when you die. You are adopted into God's family and become a joint heir with Christ, which means not only you're being forgiven of your sins, but also healing, deliverance, freedom from worry, anxiety, and on and on. They're all yours. These things are already yours. And to receive them, you ask in faith, which is John chapter 14, verse 13. and trust God. Faith and trust operate together. Think of it this way. You sit down in a chair because you trust it will hold you up. In other words, you have faith that the chair won't break when you sit down. The food you eat, you trust or have faith in the one who prepared it, packaged it, shipped it to the store, etc. The same holds true with God. In Luke chapter 16, Jesus is asking, do you trust God with your finances? If you don't, then how can God give you all the promises that became yours when you believed on Him to save you? You don't give to earn God's approval or to prove to Him that you are worthy or deserving. No. You giving tells God that you trust Him with everything, even the money that you have worked 40, 50, or 60 hours to earn. So trust God with your money and watch Him take care of you in miraculous ways. God bless you. And for all of you that may be out of a job right now, I ask that God bless you, and I pray that you will return to work, that the economy opens up so that your jobs can be restored. And in the meantime, I pray for God's blessing, protection, and provision for you. Trust Him with everything you have. Thank you for watching.